are nosing around at one of my favorite events. It is the Cigar Festival in Ybor City, the Cigar Heritage Festival. An incredible event. It's only $5 to get in here. Cigars abound, as you might expect. A beautiful wafting aroma in the air of cigars being smoked everywhere. Men, women, well, not children yet, but they're getting a hint here for sure. But it is a fabulous event. This thing began back in the early 90s, and a salesperson and myself from a radio station were up in Cincinnati, and we'd gone up there for a big fireworks show. And on Saturday afternoon we were sitting around in downtown, and there were a bunch of people around, and I asked somebody, I said, what's happening here? Why are there so many people downtown? And this person said, well, we've got a cigar festival. And we said to ourselves, there's a cigar festival in Cincinnati and we don't have one in the cigar city of Tampa? So we came back, got the radio station behind it, Clear Channel, all these folks, and we had our first cigar festival a year later. And it was later picked up by the Ybor City Chamber of Commerce, and it has grown into this. But we're only at the halfway point, because next year or the year after, it is going to become the International Cigar Festival. We're going to have people coming in at least from all over North America, from all of Cigar Dave's domain, to get all of his listeners, as many as we can, to expand it perhaps to 3 days, also to include a golf tournament, a banquet for all those people coming in from out of town, and a tour of a cigar factory, a working cigar factory, because, you know, most people who live in the Tampa Bay area have never seen a cigar factory. These people will get a chance to do that. But it's a great event, and if you didn't make it this year, we better see you down here next year, where, once again, of course, I'm sure I'll be nosing around.
We're here while we're young. We're going to do. We've got Jack Harris, who is the Master of Ceremonies for AM Tampa Bay, the #1 news talk station and radio show in the Tampa Bay area, 970 WFLA. And by the way, we both have something in common. What is that? It's both our flagship stations.
Oh, yes.
A great 970 WFLA. And by the way, Jack, you are from West Virginia, Wacky Jackie by Cracky.
West by God, Virginia, we call it.
Do you know that a professor of mine at Syracuse University, Dr. Rick Wright, actually worked with you at WKYS in Washington in 1971 or 72?
Well, no, 74, 75,
okay, well, wait.
Yeah, up there, mid-70s.
That is correct. And I have an air check of you when you were doing the Disco Morning Show on WKYS. Which, do you remember some of the things you said?
If you can believe this, I ended up, we started out in kind of a news talk station, but they played rock and roll music, and it was called WRC, the Rock of the Capitol, and all of this stuff. Well, they went all news because it was NBC owned, and they put me over to start the first ever disco station in the country in 1975. I was the morning man. Now, can you imagine this? Me getting on a, howdy, here's KC and the Sunshine Band. And this very urban audience sat around and said, who in the heck is this guy, this bozo?
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, you said it is, you came out of a song that I heard. I think it was a Donna Summer song. And he said, Donna Summer, it's your Jack Harris, West Virginia by Jocular. Was that right?
That's pretty much it.
Can you remember that?
Your jocular cracker jack, crack jock jack.
And you had to say that every morning while you were sober.
I even had a jingle.
You had your own jingle. It's very, very big. Well, Jack, you were one of the people way back. I've been doing the show at 970 WFLA, our great flagship, for now 13 years.
Yep.
13 and a half years. And of course, Jack and I have known each other a long time.
I want to say, and I say this proudly, and I tell people this, and I don't want to brag, but I was the guy that discovered Cigar Dave. And that was, I had a good friend of mine and a friend of his. We happened to run into each other at a bar one time.
Dude, that's a shocker.
And this guy says, this is Cigar Dave. And I said, Cigar Dave? He says, yeah, he does a cigar show on a competing radio station. I said, a cigar show? What do you do for a cigar show, for goodness sakes? Well, it's a 2-hour show on this other station. And this was on a Friday night, and he was doing it on Saturday.
That's right.
I have got to hear this. The next day, we talked and everything, and it's a great guy. You know, he's great to sit around and drink beer with, as I'm doing right now. And
well, you have a beer. I have member. I have the Crown Royale.
You were far too classy. Listen, I'm a hillbilly. Well, wait, I'm sorry. We're not hillbillies anymore. We are Appalachian Americans.
Appalachian Americans. Yes, by the way, do you know what they call the Texas Aggies have to change their nickname to be politically correct? The Texas Agro-Americans.
But anyway,
and by the way, I am an Alpha American.
Alpha.
I want to make sure I'm hyphenated properly.
You got to have that hyphen. Once you lose your hyphen, guys won't have anything to do with you anymore.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, I go the next day. I said, I got to hear this, a cigar show that lasts 2 hours. What do you do about cigars for 2 hours? I'm listening. All these people are calling in. They're worshiping this guy. They're going nuts. And the next Monday, on Monday, I go into our program director and I said, you are not going to believe this phenomenal thing I heard on the weekend. And this guy named Cigar Dave is doing a 2-hour show. People are going crazy. The lines are lit up and everything. I said, we got to hire him away from there because this has syndication potential all over it.
We're already syndicated by then.
Well, yeah,
you
already had
like
10
25.
stations.
No, I think 20, something like that. We're not at the 120 we are today.
Yeah, now 120 stations. So they went to work and they stole them away from the other station, and the rest is history.
And we love our flagship 970 WFLA, and it really is a privilege and an honor for me to work with great folks like Jack Harris, Ted Webb.
Yep.
We've had our good buddy Schnitt. Glenn Beck was over at 970 WFLA. Lionel, we had a lot of great people. They called 970 WFLA home, and but it was great. But Jack, we're going to make this bigger and better next year and the year after. We've got some great ideas.
We are, and we've got your listener out there somewhere.
Wait, my listeners, I got more than one.
New York and Kansas and everywhere. We're going to try to bring people in, make this an international cigar festival, to expand it. And for the people coming into town, have a Cigar Dave golf tournament, which we've already got the people ready to put that together. We're going to have a banquet on Friday night. We're going to have a tour. How many people here have ever toured a cigar factory? Very few. Here we are in the Cigar City. Nobody knows what a factory is really like. And let these people who come in from out of town do it. Put together a whole package for a weekend. And I think it'll be fabulous. And of course, the star of the show will be the International Cigar Festival, or whatever it's called back then.
Just like a bell that keeps ringing,